Baba Ghanoush can be used, it's like a dip or a spread. I think people use it for lots of different things. I put it on my baked potatoes instead of sour cream and butter. You can use it as a sandwich spread. You can, what else can you do with it? If you have any ideas, put them in the comments so we can get ideas. But it's just a really flavorful, I call it a dip, appetizer, side dish, I don't know. But most recipes are made with oil and salt, and if you've been following me, you know I don't use any added salt, oil, or sugar. So we are still going to get some good flavor out of this without oil and salt. So this is basically the eggplant that I used today, and I have already roasted it back there, but I just wanted to show you one that isn't roasted yet. This is about 1 pound. It's a little shy of 1 pound, but the recipe calls for a 1 pound purple eggplant like this. If you wanted to use a different kind of eggplant, you know, they come in all shapes and a few different colors, you can do that. But these are the ones that are most commonly found in the grocery stores, and I forget what they're called. Does somebody know what these are called? I think there's a special name for them, like globe eggplants or something. But these are pretty easy to find, but you can use any kind of eggplant. Some eggplants are really spicy, so you want to be aware of that. These are pretty mild in flavor. So to roast these, let me get the one that I roasted back here. So this is the same size that I have roasted at 400 degrees for 55 to 60 minutes. And it looks pretty funny, and that's how it's supposed to look. And I didn't cover it, I just put it in this pan. You can also put it on like a cookie sheet if you want. And I see that it did kind of splatter around here. So you might want to put a little parchment paper down if you don't want to have to soak this and scrub it. So I'm going to move this, and I'm going to put this on my cutting board. Okay. So now what we're going to do is just take the skin off. It comes off really easy after roasting. I wonder if any Baba Ghanoush has ever used the skin. I would be surprised. It's pretty tough, but maybe so. I am certainly not an expert at eggplant cooking. Okay. So once you get all the skin off, lay it on your cutting board. We'll get our knife, and we're going to take this top off. That's a little wasteful, I'm thinking, but I don't know if I want to take the time to dig all of that out, so I won't do that right now. All right, and there's a little skin down there, and you can see in here, it's just a very interesting, kind of alien-looking vegetable. Very interesting. I'm just going to go ahead and give it some rough chops here. I want to put everything into the food processor. The reason I'm doing eggplant today is because it's eggplant season, and it's going to wrap up at the end of September. So I wanted to be sure to make an eggplant something. So we have the eggplant in there. I just want to double check. The 1 pound eggplant. We're going to put in 2 tablespoons of lemon juice and about 2 tablespoons of parsley. Since I am using the food processor to mix this, I didn't chop the parsley already. I just will have the food processor do that. But if you are using a fork to mash yours, you might want to chop your parsley first. I'm also going to put in a 1/2 teaspoon, or is it a quarter teaspoon ground cumin. And also, I like to show off my favorite tools. These are my magnetic measuring spoons. And by the way, I do have a little store on my website. It's just a little Amazon store where all of my favorite tools and knives and everything is. My little garlic chopper. It's all in my store. So check that out at straightupfood.com. All right, so I'm just going to put in a 1/4 teaspoon of the ground cumin. If you are a person who kind of toasts your own whole cumin and then grinds it, that would be super yummy. I'm going to put in about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. About a half of a lemon is 2 tablespoons. Sometimes I use my yellow juicer. Today I'm just going to use this kind of manual old-fashioned juicer. I think you get a little bit more juice out of these types rather than the lever juicers. Okay. And I bet you that is 2 tablespoons worth, or a little bit more actually. Okay. Yeah, it's a little more. All right, 2 tablespoons lemon juice. If you didn't have lemon juice, you could probably use lime juice, no problem. All right, so 2 tablespoons lemon juice, 2 tablespoons chopped parsley. We're gonna put in, I put in the cumin, and we're gonna put in some garlic next, but first let's put in the tahini. This is super traditional for Baba Ghanoush. Tahini is just ground sesame seeds. And when I buy tahini, it's not cheap. It's one of those things that it's a bit on the expensive side, especially if you get salt-free and raw. A lot of tahinis come roasted with oil added, sometimes sugar added, but here's the ingredients, and I have to put it close to my eyes. Raw organic sesame seeds, that's it. So this can be like $15, but it lasts a long time in the fridge. So we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of this. And you guys know I love my little trick where I just dip my measuring spoon into the water. If you are measuring sticky stuff like almond butter, peanut butter, tahini. So there's 1. Even with the water, it's still kind of sticky. And then we'll do 1 more. Okay. Not bad. And if you ever buy a nut butter at the store like this and it's got a pool of oil on the top after you first open it, you can stir it in, or you can just pour it off into the garbage if you don't want that oil. Even though it's just from natural separation, you still may not want it. Okay. And then last, we're going to do a little bit of garlic. Now I use garlic for the next recipe as well, so I thought I would just chop up a bunch. So this is my favorite little garlic chopper. It's made by Tupperware. It's got this little blade that just sits in there. And I already prepared a few garlic cloves without the paper on them. But I did want to show you how you can get the paper off. This is called a garlic sleeve. There's some paper still stuck in there. And what you do is you just take your clove, you put it in there, and then you roll it. And when you take it out, it should be off. Look at that, some little icky parts on there. So if you do have those little icky parts, we will just chop them off. Sometimes if they're big like that, I'll cut them in half. Okay. And I have 1 more here. Just put it in. It's kind of like a rolling, pressing down, but you don't want to push so hard that it gets, you know, all the juices going everywhere. There we go. All right. So you put the lid on, you line up the little sides there. You know, I probably should keep it upright. There we go. Once you get it locked in, you just pull the string. And the more you pull, the finer it gets. Beautiful. Now, I'm not a real gadget person, but when I got this was a gift to me from Chef AJ. I just couldn't believe how much I loved it because I don't like chopping garlic. I don't like peeling it. I don't like chopping it with a knife. It gets the cutting board all stinky. So this is actually a gadget that I love, love, love. All right. So the recipe calls for 1 small clove of garlic. Now this isn't going to be cooked. It's just going to be raw. So I'm just going to put in like kind of a heaping 1/4 teaspoon because I don't want it to be too garlicky. So 1 small to medium clove is good. If you know that you are a garlic fiend and you just can't get enough garlic, you can add more if you want. All right, so all of the ingredients are in there. The eggplant, the lemon juice, the parsley, the tahini, the garlic, and the cumin. And then as always, I stop and I scrape the sides down just to make sure that everything is getting blended. Check those edges down there. Ooh, that looks really good. Let's give it one more little blend. We're going to take out that S-blade. And put it into our cute dish. This makes about a cup and a half. I think the eggplant I used was a little smaller than a pound, so this might be a little less than a cup and a half. Oh, it smells so good. It kind of smells like bacon. Yeah, eggplant has such an interesting flavor and smell. And then if I were taking this to an event, I always do this little swirl. So it looks nice. So it doesn't look like I just threw it in there. All right. That was so good. It's so interesting. Very good. Not too garlicky. I'm glad I didn't put a ton of garlic in, but still very garlicky.